Antes desse vídeo começar, eu gostaria de agradecer a todo mundo que está me dando suporte no Patreon. Muito obrigado e bora pro vídeo! Fala aí pessoal, tudo beleza? Aqui é o Dragão Mascarado trazendo mais vídeo hoje. Gente, continuando onde a gente parou em Not for Broadcast. Eita porra, tá vindo uma chuva desgracenta.
Good evening, Alex. It's Bozeman here.
Eita.
Boss. While you're powering up and getting the adverts loaded, I thought I should just tell you that we've had one of those public information films from the government, and it's mandatory that you play it. You still have a free choice for the other two, so read those tape labels carefully, but make sure you play the advance advert, preferably at the second break. Right, that's the lot. Have a great show.
Ah tá, no segundo.
My God, that was nasty.
Oh, how's it going with Steve?
Why are men such pricks?
Como é que é?
Apparently he has a complicated relationship with his fish.
No.
Sorry, are you saying he chose his imaginary friend in the sky over you?
Eita.
I don't know why I talked to you.
It probably is a really awful date.
10 seconds, everybody. Like I said, all of you.
Did your personality accidentally slip out?
Pricks. Going in 5, 4, 3.
Good evening. I'm Jeremy Donaldson.
And I'm
Hey.
Megan Wolf. Our main stories tonight.
Uncooperative. A mysterious symbol has appeared overnight on thousands of buildings throughout the capital.
Tonight, in an exclusive live interview with Prime Ministers Julia
Eita porra,
Salisbury
tinha
and Peter
esquecido.
Clement, I'll be asking what this mysterious symbol might mean.
Critics have been quick to dismiss the graffiti as a publicity stunt or an act of frustration by a tiny disorganized group of those who will never, under any circumstances, be content.
We shall overcome. Trapped in his taint for more than a month now, doctors Ingrid Svorsborg Horgensvoord and David Wong announced today
Yes,
that
aqui
they're
escapar.
considering two possible options.
With two of the finest minds in science working together, hopes are still high for the eventual return of the team to dry land.
While both options are still on the table, support
Yeah, sounds
seems to be
tough.
growing for a daring escape attempt. If a group of fungus experts can't fix the most advanced craft ever conceived by man, then who can?
Meu Deus.
Bearing their opinions, the formerly fighting back with a naked protest.
Ah, vou
Our
escolher
very
esse
own
aqui.
Robin Short was on
Ok,
hand
o governo
earlier
pensa que eu
today
tô
when
contra
this
eles.
new protest group first presented themselves.
It might seem amusing to us, but clearly this formerly overprivileged section of our society is not adjusting well to the new future. It's often too easy to forget that not every citizen is thriving under advance.
Fallen Angel, notorious act Johnny Handsleeve seems to have reached a new low in his battle with booze, as this recent picture reveals.
Johnny's star certainly lacks its former glow these days, with public concern over his
Mas
mental and
aqui.
physical health growing at an alarming rate.
Since being banned from the national squad earlier this year after urinating on a referee during a friendly against East Grinchley, things seem to have gone from bad to worse for Hamsleeves.
Is his once celebrated role model about to become the bad boy of sports?
And radical ideas. In an attempt to put the Mr. Snugglehugs disaster behind them, Rimington's Fist CEO Sophia Rimington today announced a surprising new project that already has the markets raising an eyebrow.
Known for taking risks and bold strategies, could the adventurous CEO be leading the business giant down a dark alley or taking it to a new level of success?
We understand the Mobile Orientation Operational Borrowing Service
And
will be a
it's gonna-
new international travel system based around the construction of a major tunnel through the centre of the Earth. Sophia Rimington claims it will make travelling from one side of the world to the other the matter of an afternoon. Geologists are concerned about the implications of digging a hole through the planet, while flat earthers claim it should be quite easy.
With that exclusive prime ministerial interview coming up later,
And our very own Patrick Bannon coming to you live from the first annual Sports Board final.
you won't want to miss a second of tonight's National Nightly News.
Nada. Mano, tá uma chuva. Tá, vou selecionar um.
First tonight, after the Christmas horror caused by Mr. Snugglehugs, we have an exclusive interview with one of the victims.
Poor 7-year-old Timmy Tadlock, like so many of those affected by the Christmas bloodbath, has spent the last 3 months undergoing a series of reconstructive facial surgeries.
Last week, joyfully, he spoke for the first time since the tragedy. Tonight, he talks to us.
Before we go to the interview, however, this station would like to issue a full and frank apology for any part we may have played in the tragedy. We should never have advertised Mr. Snugglehugs. Without our publicity, the sheer scale of this tragedy, and now upwards of 8,000 casualties, might have been averted.
On behalf of the Nightly News team, we're sorry.
In future, we will do better.
Now it's over to Robin Short at the Tadlock family home. Robin?
Thank you, Megan.
Foi.
I'm here with Mr. and Mrs.
Eita,
Tadlock
propaganda
and
que eu
their
coloquei.
7-year-old son, Timothy. Thanks for spending time with us today.
Yes, well, you're bloody lucky we're spending any time with you at all, after what you lot did. Irresponsible. I mean, whose idea was this anyway?
It's all right. It wasn't your fault.
As you can see, Megan, there's still a few open wounds here. I'll tread carefully. I'm going to speak to Timmy now. Hello, Timmy.
Eita.
Can you see me?
Eu vi alguma coisa aqui.
Mummy, who's that lady?
It's the lady from television, Timothy. She's going to ask you a few questions.
And you be careful now, it upsets them to remember.
Don't worry, Mr. Tadlock. I wasn't the youngest ever editor of
Nossa,
the
criança
Swinstead Middle
aqui.
School Inquirer for no reason. So, Timmy, can you tell us what happened to you? You had just unwrapped Mr. Snugglehugs, hadn't you? Was he under the tree?
Yes, I could smell him already. He smelled like love.
Ah, yes, that'll be the fur. It's scented with hoof.
I was so excited. I ran up to my room and gave him a
Não
big
tô gostando
hug.
aqui, porque
He was so
tá
soft on
tremendo.
me, like our cat, before he got in the way of Daddy's Porsche.
Bloody cat had a death wish.
And what did Mr. Snugglehugs say to you?
He blinked his real action eyes and said, "You're my very best friend." But I sure wish Mrs. Snugglehugs was here, and she can't be, for just $89.99.
Mano, olha, fez de novo.
And then it's the general error. 41.
Eu geral
And
41.
is that when he burst into flames?
Careful.
Meu
And
Deus.
then he exploded.
Oh, look, I've asked you nicely.
And am I right in saying that one of his real action eyes is now permanently embedded in your cheek?
Yes. When I took him in at night, it glows through bandages. I know it's under there.
Staring at me.
Yeah, some of the other children have started calling him Timmy Three Eyes. And with his glasses, that's 5.
It's too many eyes, Robin.
And what's the last thing you remember before the darkness overtook you?
He looked at me with his one eye and laughed.
Meu
Laughed
Deus.
as he burned.
It sounds very traumatic.
Oh.
Do you have nightmares?
All right, that's quite
Do you,
enough of
Timmy?
you two
Timmy?
coming in here with your camera trying to make a buck out of our suffering. I won't have it.
Mr. Tadlock, just a couple more questions. Timmy, do you think you will ever be what we can
No,
call
no, you've had your
normal
questions,
again?
and now look. Oh, you've made him cry with all 3 of his eyes. I will
Do you
not-
think your parents will ever
Dear
really love
Marjorie.
you again?
Right, that's it. Enough. Come on,
I'm
Liz.
happy,
Come on.
Mr.
Look.
Tadlock.
Oh, your poster, your favourite poster. Timmy, are you okay? Oh.
So there you have it, Megan. Just one of the many victims of an indescribable tragedy that has shaken our nation.
I'm bleeding, am I not?
Meu Deus.
Stuff. My espresso here. Where are we next?
Days and months, I'd wager. How will
Eita.
she turn this crisis around?
So, Jeremy, what are the warning signs a consumer should look out for when they're spotting a dangerous toy?
Well, Megan, experts
esqueci
advise
de
to
mudar.
always check for the new Advanced mark, which guarantee a level of safety and quality.
Yeah, can we just get a close-up on camera 3 here? So if we take a look at this National Nightly News mug, you should see the mark just on the base of it there.
In the wake of the scandal, the government were praised for their swift response in bringing in this set of stringent checks and new products.
It certainly is good
Eu
to
esqueci de mudar, mano.
families. When we come back, our very own Patrick Bannon will be live from the Sports Board Finals. Stick around, you won't want to miss it.
We'll be back after these messages.
Pronto.
Minute back.
Oh, sorry, I'm bursting.
Enganei o maluco.
She's very good.
Megan,
Yes, yes.
Jeremy, Women are coming.
I'm more worried about this water dripping into my head.
Nota a mais, que bom.
Alex, Bozeman, we're getting reports in that naked protesters might try and spoil the sports board final by waving their fleshy bits around. Try and make sure you don't broadcast it. It's 6 p.m. for God's sake. No one wants to see fannies on the news. Bozeman out.
Meu Deus. Segundos. Vixe Maria. Mano, o que é isso? Porque eu tava começando a tremer.
Well, that's what it says.
Yes, I understand that, but I always say welcome back.
I think we should just keep it as it is.
Well, of course you do. I've got one hack line.
What's that supposed to mean? I didn't write it, Jeremy.
That's all right.
Eu vou deixar na 3.
There's something wrong with the auto cue.
Porque mostra os
I
dois.
just felt a drip again. Have they not fixed this?
I want to see us fry. It's good for the ratings.
5, 4, 3.
Welcome back to the National Nightly News. I'm Megan Wolf. Coming up later, we'll be speaking to the Prime Ministers about their exciting new healthcare facilities, transition centres.
Nice to see they care.
You're absolutely right, Jeremy. But first, we're going now to our own Patrick Bannon, who's reporting live from the finals of the new game that's gripping the nation, Sports Board. Patrick?
That's right, Megan. You join me live here from the final of the first annual Sports Board Championship. It's been a hotly contested competition so far. I think it's fair to say these two have been dancing around each other all season. First up, we have Eddie Striker. She's the more experienced of our two players today. Striker has got an accuracy of 7, a danger rating of K, and a 12-month driving ban. Striker's known for her signature move, the lanky hamster. And facing her tonight, hoping to prove himself with a career record of 12 outs, 14 finishes, and a divorce pending, it's Mr. Wingspan himself, Tommy, the Fingernail Harris. Just waiting on the ref now. The slapping ceremony is taking part. Still going on. Striker go first. Striker, of course, first to start as she won the trivia round earlier on by some margin. Harris, perhaps the brawn and not the brain. Stupid. Eddie Striker. Nice start there from Striker. She's determined not to let the nerves show. Not after last time. On to Mr. Harris now. Tommy. Using his arm to pick up the ball. Not a bad shot there from Harris. Back to Striker for shots number 3. All right. She's gone to sort of throwing it under her legs. Not bad if you ask me. Don't know why you complain. To Harris. Bit of business with the ref, but it got sorted out. Back to Harris now. A ball in the hand is worth 2 in the bush.
Football. Move back.
I'd say that's fair, but what do I know? Oh no, and Harris is not going to be happy with that. So really not a good start there for Tommy Harris in round 1. We can only hope that round 2 treats him a bit better. But first, of course, after the argument with the ref section, it's time to change ends. Now we have the ceremonial changing of the ends. And of course, now they go back to the starting positions, as that makes sense.
Eu acho que eu deixei muito tempo na câmera.
We're into round 2 now with Harris. Okay, we seem to have some sort of streak on the pitch. I apologise if we broadcast any of that stuff. She appears to have slogans across her breasts and arse.
Vixe Maria.
Try and ignore all of that. Security, I'm sure we're going to take them out as soon as possible. Apologise if we broadcast any of that. As I said, we're going to get the situation resolved as soon as possible. They're trying to carry on play, but it's proving a bit difficult, and I'm struggling to follow. Because it's quite an eyesore, and women's bodies, yeah. All right, great. Okay, so back into round 2 now, and Harris absolutely determined to close that massive gap. Eddie Striker. No, it's just some of the tightest play I've seen ever. Harris. And was that a fitted thumb screw? We haven't seen that since the Heats. What a brilliant move. Back to Striker. And we know what that means, ladies and gentlemen. That is, of course, the ground sound. Excellent bit of play here on both sides of the bucket. I don't know about you at home, but I'm finding the technical mastering display here absolutely blooming jaw-dropping. The ref has spotted something in Harris's neck or head. And Harris is having an absolute shocker. What a miserable start there for Tommy Harris. But he is a late bloomer, of course, we've always said that. And after all, it is a game of 2 halves. 4 rounds. But now, of course, it's time for the half-time show. Sponsored by Remington Smith.
On my whistle, on my whistle.
Nice piece of music here to start the half-time show. Okay, another posh protester loose on the court here. We can only apologise for that. We'll do our best to shield you from having to look directly at it. He's running around here with his genitals on display for all to see. And ruining what was quite a dance interlude there. Now he's thrusting himself in Harris's face. Security's on it. And the bucket has been knocked over.
Meu Deus.
I cannot stand it when the bucket gets knocked over. Hopefully he'll get taken out now. Genitals flying around for all to see. Really, if you ask me, not Sunday morning television. And out of there, hopefully taken away, never to be seen again.
Final poses. Ball boy cannot be in the final pose.
And a lovely finish there on both sides of the bucket. I wouldn't like to call that one. And as we head into round 3, I'd love to know what's going on in these 2 players' heads. But unfortunately, because of science, we can't.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Not bad. So that ball boy's giving me the eye all day. I don't know what's going on there. Striker there, not a great start. She looks a bit flustered, I think, after all that swinging around. Back to Harris here. God, what I wouldn't give to be that ball. Am I right, ladies? Tommy Harris. And it dribbled down his arm, which is actually a really good move, because, of course, if it dribbles down his arm and goes on the floor, it's not going in the bucket. Back to striker. And striker's gone for the animal bonus there, but of course, perhaps. And yes, Harris has counted with a tiny bell. Wonderful play. Of course, we've seen that before. Look at her face. She is absolutely gutted. What a mud. That could have been the clincher. What a massive shame.
Harris receives possession now.
Harris to serve now. Harris, of course, undefeated by Kestrel in his last 4 battles. So, here we go. Tommy Harris. That's all right. Not bad there. He threw it quite far away from him, which is quite a good idea. Very clever there. Perhaps a little contact, a caution from the referee, who's being, if you ask me, a little bit harsh. Ellie Striker. And she's let the nerves get to her. What the hell was that? You hate to see it, don't you? You cannot believe it. Oh, for God's sake. Okay, like... I don't know what I can be doing about this. I mean, it's sort of breasts and genitals for all to see. I mean, there's only so much I can do. They're sort of everywhere, aren't they? All right, I'll try and carry on. The players are trying to carry on, but of course it's difficult because these protesters hopefully we can get them taken off soon so we can carry on with the match. Nonsense is going on here. Yes, we want our money. Yes, very good. Take them away. Bloody wasters, absolute wasters. Oh, jog on!
This is the mime round.
It's an absolute bloody... Okay, and now we're going to go into the final round. And of course, as it's a Tuesday, the final round is a mime round. Who could believe it? Nice imaginary shot there from Harris. It really could go in there at this point. Really high-level play here from 2 absolute juggernauts of the sport.
Hold.
The bucket getting moved back to its proper place. About time, if you ask me. She's juggling it around from her hands. Interesting. And she's put it in her mouth like as if it was an egg. And now she's and she spat it out. She did the egg spit. So a wonderful move there, quite late on.
Illegal spit.
From Striker. But she's in it to win it.
Harris's ball.
On it like a car bonnet.
Mano, que jogo é esse?
Tommy Harris here.
Quando o jogo tá pra nada a ver, não que eu estou jogando.
And he's peeling it as if it were a banana, which is an interesting move. Not sure if he has managed potassium or what's going on today with Harris. And he's throwing it, and the banana was the ball! What a bad fantastic move there from Harris. Unfortunately, that is the end. What a pathetic... There we go, Jeremy. That is over. How can he look his 8-year-old son in the face tonight? What a lump. We just have to wait for the referee now to announce it to make sure it is all official.
Contestants in, please. And the winner of the first annual Sports Board Championship is... everyone!
Okay, the ref has declared once again a win for everyone, including me as my 15th win in the Sports Board Championship. I'm going to be celebrating tonight with my wife and children. Another wonderful victory for me. Here come the on-site security to collect their medals, their 6th and 7th respectively. And thanks again for watching the Sports Board Championships. What more is there to say? I'm Patrick Bannon, looking forward to celebrating tonight. And all that's left to say, Jeremy, is back to you in the studio.
Patrick Bannon had an extraordinary final.
Historic sports board, Jeremy.
I didn't know you were a fan.
Oh, yeah, I can wrench a doubler with the best of them, I'll have you know.
I certainly wouldn't bet against you.
When we come back,
Ow!
I'll be talking live with Prime Ministers Julia Salisbury and Peter Clement, who apparently have a big announcement you wouldn't want to miss.
That's coming up after these messages.
1 minute back.
Fucking microphone shocked me.
What?
Fucking microphone just shocked me. Where's that sound guy?
Everything okay?
Oh, the mics are just trying to kill us now, apparently.
You'll be fine. You're unshockable.
I'm immune to your cheap flattery.
I'm wearing you down.
Man.
Bozeman again. Just heard from the chaps in maintenance. The storm is playing havoc with the electrics, and you might notice the odd spark. Nothing to worry about. Happens all the time. Dave got shocked into a coma last year, but he was up and at 'em the next day.
Okay.
Anyway, our compensation package is parallel to none. Good luck. Bozeman out.
Sorry about all these buckets. We seem to have sprung a leak. Well, several, actually.
You're going to need a whole new lining up there. Triple silver.
We'll look into it.
Começar com balde.
So good to see you again.
Miss Wolfe, your star seems to be in the ascendant.
It's a great time to be alive.
Too bloody right. Peter Clement.
Megan Wolfe.
My, but that's a firm handshake you've got there.
She's tougher than she looks. Am I here?
Here with Mr. Clement.
Eu acho que no futuro vai ter problema de calor aqui. Eita porra.
Is your seat damp?
10 seconds, everybody.
No, mine's fine. Have you had a little accident?
Cheeky cow.
5, 4, 3.
Welcome back. I am delighted to be joined by Prime Ministers Julia Salisbury and Peter Clement. Welcome to the National Nightly News, Prime Ministers.
Oh, please, it's just Julia and Peter.
We don't believe much in titles. It doesn't seem very advanced.
We're delighted to be here.
Well, firstly, I should ask how you feel about the graffiti that's been springing up across the capital. Should we be worried?
Oh, no, you definitely shouldn't be worried.
Well, not unless you've got a fatal paint allergy anyway.
Meu Deus.
But yes, it does seem that there are still some people we haven't been able to help.
You know, whingers mostly.
People who've yet to benefit from the many advantages of the new future.
And you know, Megan, as my old mum used to say, there are some pissants who just don't know how to be happy.
We're working hard to reach these people, find out what they're angry about and how we can help. The door to my government is always open.
So it's dripping on me.
But we didn't come here to talk about what may yet turn out to be some alternative arts project.
Which we no doubt will have funded.
When we want to talk to the nation about something far more exciting.
Yes, your office briefed us that you have an announcement to make, but they were being surprisingly secretive about it.
Let me ask you a question, Megan.
Oh, okay, it's not usually how it works, but...
What scares you? I mean, really scares you?
It's death, Pat. She's talking about death.
We're all afraid of our deaths. It's part of being human.
Sorry, are you saying that Advance have cured death?
That'll be a vote winner. Yep, that was definitely a drop there.
But while we may not have cured death, we hope we found a way to make it much less scary.
And much less painful, and much less expensive. Look, which is me close-up camera,
Oh,
Beth?
sorry, yes, it's camera 4 like that.
When I was 13, me mam came and got me from school. He was to go to the hospital. Me granddad, he'd collapsed that morning, so we'd all to say our goodbyes. And I went in to see him. He were all frail and pale. I was scared because I'd only seen him the week before, and he'd been fit as fiddle. And he said to me, Peter, he said, it's the right time. I don't ever want to be a burden to the people I live.
Was that the last time you saw him?
Nope. 3 days later, he were back home. He lived with us for 9 miserable years after that. He had to be fed with a rubber spoon. He had a commode, so he'd just take a shit right there in the lounge while we were watching football. He wouldn't even wait till half-time.
That sounds...
It was awful. It were awful for us, and this is the point. It were awful for him. He could see it was destroying me, man, watching him slowly fade away, and he would beg her to turn off his breathing equipment at night, but she couldn't, or she wouldn't. It were a crime, you see. And she didn't want to lose the children, as well as her old man.
No family should have to suffer like Peter's did. And now no family will have to. The health service is today opening the first of 300 new transition centres.
The transition centres will handle everything for your last days. The legal, financial, medical and emotional costs are all catered for and paid for by the government. So even the poorest citizen gets to pass on with dignity when they choose.
And that choice is important. This is a service only for people who choose it. For people who feel they run their course and don't want to burden themselves or their families with a slow, long, humiliating decline.
Fuck! This microphone pack has just given me electric shock!
Are you okay?
I don't know, I think it fried my asshole!
Oh, we're still on the air, Peter?
No, yes, sorry, my apologies all.
Are you not worried that this new system might be open to abuse?
In what way?
Sorry, I've got sacked again. Can I get a little bit of help here, please?
That the older generation might feel somewhat...
Jesus, I rolled your face, fucker! That one was massive! Right, no, this bastard's coming off!
That the older generation might feel somewhat coerced.
Coerced into spending their final days eating gourmet food and drinking fine wine and luxury spas and gardens.
Look, I am perfectly capable of... Mad grandmother with a rugby twat!
Prime Minister, please watch your language.
For fuck's sake!
Don't get yourself sorted out.
Right.
We're launching a government information film tonight. It should tell your viewers everything they need to know.
You really do move at a breathless pace. It's hard to believe you've yet to be in office a year.
Oh, Megan, we're only getting started.
And on that note, thank you both so much for being here. Jeremy.
Right, yes, that's all we have time for tonight. Thank yous go out to our guests. Congratulations to all the winners at the Sports Board final. And we'll see you tomorrow night at the same time. My name is Jeremy Donaldson. If you can, have a peaceful night.
And we're out. Good job, everybody.
Puta que pariu, que foi isso?
Why bother strengthening
So they just...
when you can strengthen?
I don't suppose there's any way this could be a good thing.
It's for my nephew, so we transitioned the moment I stopped the leak.
Bônus generoso, vendendo rim. Ixi, Maria. Transmissões, sim, edição. Deixa eu ver. Ah, dá pra excluir, peraí.
We join Jeremy and the team. There's just time for a brief look at what's coming up later tonight.
Eu quero ver aquele momento que o outro leva choque.
At 6:30, it's a brief history of Sports Board, where Patrick Bannon will be taking a look at the surprising rise of the spectacularly popular new sport. That's followed by a repeat of the live National Sports Board final at 7:30 p.m.
Mano. Peraí. Eu acho que não é aqui não. Peraí. Sem edição. A tempestade. Ih, tá carregando, que ótimo. Mano, o momento que eu tô pisando no balde. Ai, meu Deus. Bora ver aqui. Tá carregando e demorando um horror.
So sorry about all.
Peraí. Mano, esse segmento foi um dos mais estranhos que eu já vi até agora, porque, pelo amor de Deus, o outro...
Apologies all.
Are you not worried? For people who feel they run their course and don't want to burden themselves or their families with a slow, long, humiliating decline into an undignified...
Jesus fuck! This microphone pack has just given me an electric shock!
Are you okay?
I don't know, I think it fried my asshole!
In what way?
Shit! Nuts! Sorry, I got zapped again. Can I get a little bit of help here, please?
That the older generation might feel somewhat...
Right, no, this bastard's coming off!
That the older generation might feel somewhat coerced.
Coerced into spending their final days eating gourmet food and drinking...
Mano.
With a rusty twat!
Prime Minister, please watch your language.
Oh, for fuck's sake!
Go get yourself sorted out.
Right.
We're launching a government information film tonight. It should tell your viewers everything they need to know.
You really do move at a breathless pace. It's hard to believe you've yet to be in office a year.
Mano, e esse aqui? Você conheceu Mano, a parte que ele pisa no balde, meu Deus, foi uma das melhores aqui do jogo. Será que isso aqui é daquele do bichinho deu errado?
With that exclusive Prime Minister...
Aí.
That our publicity, the sheer scale of this tragedy.
We're sorry.
In future, we...
Mr. and Mrs. Tadlock and their 7-year-old son, Timothy. Thanks for spending time with us today.
Yes, well, you're bloody lucky we're spending any time with you at all, after what you lot did. Irresponsible. I mean, whose idea was this anyway?
It's all right. Wasn't your fault.
Marca isso aqui porque é muito lindo.
She's going to ask you a few questions.
Mr. Snugglehugs, hadn't you? Was he under the tree?
Yes.
Yes.
Fine.
I could smell him already.
Must have
It smelled like love.
Ah, yes. That'll be the fur. Scented with hoof.
I was so excited. I ran up to my room and gave him a big hug. He was so soft and warm, like our cat, before he got in the way of Daddy's Porsche.
Bloody cat had a death wish.
And what did Mr. Snugglehugs say to you?
He blinked his real action eyes and said, "You're my very best friend. But I sure wish Mrs. Snugglehugs was here, and she can't be for just $89.99.
Nossa, ele faz uma promoção.
And then it's the general error.
And his family burst into flames.
Careful.
Meu
and
Deus.
then he exploded.
Oh, look, I've asked you nicely.
Am I right in saying that one of his real action eyes is now permanently embedded in your cheek?
Yes. When I took him in at night, it glows through bandages.
Meu Deus.
I know it's under there, staring at me.
Yeah, some of the other children have started calling him Timmy Three Eyes. And then with his glasses, that's 5.
Too many eyes, Robin.
And what's the last thing you remember before the darkness overtook you?
He looked at me with his one eye and laughed. Laughed as he burned.
It sounds very traumatic. Do you have nightmares?
Oh, right, that's quite enough of you two coming in here with the camera when I make a buck.
Mas então tá bom, gente. Então, gente, vou encerrar o vídeo por aqui. Espero que vocês tenham curtido. Não esqueça de deixar like, se inscrever no canal e compartilhar esse vídeo para que mais pessoas possam ver. Falou!